Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Grunberg, and today is Monday, February 1st, and I'd like to celebrate a courageous act of faith. 151 years ago, Abraham Lincoln set forth the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, abolishing slavery in the United States of America. And I don't know about you, but I believe that he had amazing faith. And the history shows that he overcame the most amazing obstacles to put forth that 13th Amendment. And I've put a link here to the most recent Abraham Lincoln movie that Daniel Day-Lewis did. And it was that specific moment in time in the history of Abraham's life that it's recorded. That recorded that and what he went through and the pushback he got from his family and the tragedies that occurred and the pain and suffering that was going on all across America, but that it happened. And I just want to celebrate that. I think courageous acts of faith are few and far between. We're, of course, attempting one with I Connect You and I See You Give. But, when you think about slavery and the fact that our country was built upon the backs of our brothers and sisters and the absolute abomination that was created in this institution, it's just absolutely disgusting. And this country has there's healing still to happen. I know that there's a lot of difficulty happening still in America, but there is hope. I wanted to tell a story about how I was raised. I was raised in a military background, and we just didn't have racism around us. We were all military kids, and we didn't look at people through different, the color of their skin. We were all just in it together and surviving in case of an attack. I mean, that was our reality. And so we went to school with people of all different types of nationalities, and so we just didn't see it. We just weren't that way. Now, of course, I went to school off base, and I experienced some racism when I was in Utah because I wasn't raised Mormon, but I was a kid, so that didn't affect me a lot. And then I moved to Germany, and that had made amazing diversity there. And then from there, I moved to a place called in Virginia, Fort Lee, Virginia, and I experienced both sides of racism in Virginia. It was just horrible to watch, absolutely horrible to watch. And of course, people were against me because I was one of the few white girls that was in the school. I never made any friends, but that's okay. We only were there for 6 months, and then of course I went on to Florida, and Florida has its own problems for sure. But when Natalie was little, her very first crush was on a little boy, and she was just thinking he was awesome. He was she was in kindergarten, and she would come home every day telling me all about this little boy and everything that had happened that day in relationship to him. And apparently he was smitten with her too, and he would go tell his mom about her. And so one day we were all at an event at the school, and I figured out who he was, and it's a beautiful little black boy with a gigantic eyes and real dark skin, almost like a blue. Oh my God, he was so sweet, and he loved her and she loved him, and I got to know his parents, and the mother and we cried together because the little boy hadn't described Natalie either. And we really felt like Dr. King's message of really judging people by their character rather than the color of their skin had lived out in our children. And I celebrate that. I know it doesn't have anything to do with slavery except for the fact that slavery was able to free our brothers and sisters that were in bondage and create a level of diversity within our country that is still healing to this day. And so if there's some part of you that has negative feelings about a person or a religion that they follow or a sexual orientation, reach out to me. Let me help you with that. Let me help you to see that you need to love everyone, that the commandments of loving one another is so important no matter who they are. And you'll be surprised at how much you have in common with everyone you know and meet. You really will. So I hope this message is received in love. I celebrate Abraham Lincoln. I mean, radical dude of faith, amazing faith. And I celebrate the 13th Amendment to the Constitution today on its 151st birthday. And of course, it took some while to get signed, but this was the day that it was presented. And that was awesome. So have a great day. Tomorrow we're going to talk about health.